There's this belief that if we design for manufacture and assembly, if we do DfMA, we do more modular, we do more prefab, we're actually limiting what architects can do, what they love to do. I think there's this belief that it's going to ruin the craft or that's actually not the case.
My last firm, was investment, development, and construction. And the development side was always pushing against the construction side because they always wanted all of their buildings were obviously like precious, and they wanted them to like reflect the local neighborhood and be a bespoke design, right? So I get that. I've dealt with that. And I think potentially this is where the tech and the digital twin can come into play, because if we can create a complete twin environment and we can link supply chain and a procurement plan and the schedule, the budget, all of those things to actually validate them against each other to make sure that that works, we can let a design architect design something beautiful. It doesn't have to be necessarily modular, like all the same, the way that we think of modular. Like we have 3 unit types. We have the studio, it doesn't have to be that way. It just has to be built ahead of time virtually and offsite in parts and delivered in parts that click into place. Do you know what I mean? That's why I mentioned shop earlier, right? Like they've demonstrated that capability, and we just have to do it that way. So modular, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the same. It doesn't have to be IKEA built. It just has to be done digitally ahead of time. And if we have a twin, we can validate that the schedule and the budget, right, and the WIP and labor hours and all of that, actually supply chain, like if all that is linked, we can simulate it to make sure that what we've planned for can actually be accomplished. And maybe that's just like the dream, you know what I mean? But at least it's a guiding light. It's like the direction we should be going. We might never fully get there on every job, but
no, you're right. And it is, we have to have a dream, right? We have to have a place. We have to have the end in mind. Are we always going to get there? No, it's, change, adapt, overcome, make your changes along the way. But you hit on something, because I think it goes again back to the people. And I think this is the unfortunate part of the power of BIM and some of the other tools we have, is that we feel like we can keep changing them. And if we're going to do offsite, if we're going to do supply chain, we're going to connect all of those dots. There are moments in time when decisions are made, and we might as well have the building built at that point in time, right? We have to not change it. And I think that's a huge people problem, because they think, oh, it's on the computer, we can change it. No, it's already being fabricated in a shop. It's already ordered. It's already on a container ship headed to where it needs to be. So again, you get back to the people problem. Like, we can let designers build beautiful things. We can let owners have say in the things that they want, but there are moments in time when it can't change. We've got to stop.
I think there are probably 3 components to that. So one, yes, the people part, culture, right? Like just kind of educating and training clients. Like this is like the reality of, right, the way that we build, that we need to build. Part of that goes to transparency though, right? Like if we can set up a system where we're totally transparent with the clients and we don't build in any, you know what I mean? Any float, any fluff, any safety nets, and we do, but we agree to them and we show them everything so that they don't think that we're like, we're kind of squirreling away like extra time and dollars. Like if we're completely open book, okay. And then third, with the tech, like let's say, like if we try to do that with today's timeframes, then I don't think it would work. But if we could deliver like that twin in the way that I described, like go from a set of DDs to a twin in 60 days, 30 days, client can change it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so fast. So who cares? Right. And then we just have kind of like the last responsible moment defined, right? And change it again, because it'll just take us 30 days to make that change and rerun the simulation and make the adjustments to the twin and validate it. So like the tech piece could actually help us do that, DD to basically as-built process a lot faster. Maybe it won't matter.
Well, there's a moment though, it's got to go to the shop, right? And then once it goes out for the order, the procurement, then we got to stop. So, but you're right, because it takes so long, and because look, how many times are we redrawing everything? Nobody trusts anybody else's drawings at all. I sit all the time in the room and they're like, oh, well, I take those and I throw those away and I redraw them. Okay, this is a huge problem. Like, digital waste is waste. Get over it. It's done. Like, we have to connect these people. We have to allow designers to do the things they do, but we have to allow our trades to do what they do. And it's got to be together.